Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Cooking and Gardening Skyrim. Today we catch a salmon and grill it. Part of the Salmonidae family and the genus Salmo or Oncorhynchus. Found in lakes, ponds, and rivers all throughout Skyrim, and known as the oldest animal in all of Britain, from Norse, Welsh, and Celtic mythology to a coastal staple food for dwellers of both Earth and Nirn. Let's get to it. The first thing to do is wake up bright and early. We need to catch those fish while they're still jumping and fresh. It's not even going to be any sound to it, it's just the video itself. Okay. Remember, the right lure gets a beautiful fish. And on my first try, no less.
3 pounds, 0.3. 0.03.
Gosh, I'm good. The next thing we need is a clean workspace. Yes, that's clean. And next we need to clean our catch. Remove all the various parts of the salmon that we're not going to eat. Like a true fisherman.
Alright, good knife.
That drawer has some big knives.
And like Grandma said, next we need to use the proper utensils. About a half a pound of salmon is good for one person, though this fish will be cut into 4 equal-ish parts. After all,
You can always break them up anyway if you wanted more. They look pretty good.
Boy, Grandma, you could have been a member of the Sijic Order with that knowledge. Place the newly cut steaks into a pan.
Perfect.
Or into whatever container your dragon bloodiness desires. Next, a magical ingredient from the land of Akavir. Soy sauce. Nords don't use measuring cups, and neither do I. And now is not a time to pinch those septums, miserly mavens. We need enough liquid for that fish to soak. Next up, another modded ingredient, teriyaki. And be as proportionately generous with this ingredient as you were with the soy.
Use that much sauce?
You will now have the gift of charity. Now that's a proud helper. I could eat them right now. One last preparation before letting them sit for 1 to 2 hours. Make those fishies flip and assure that sauce is getting into all of it. Don't be shy, sous chef. Think of this as an adventure.
Just eating is an adventure. Everything.
Do we need another meeting about insubordinance, helper woman? What? I didn't think so. Moving on. As said, let the salmon sit for 1 to 2 hours in the magical box of freezing. This will give time for the sauce to marinate. On to the dry rub. Yes, dry and saucy. A little bit of freshly preserved garlic. Fresh sea salt from the island of Solstheim. Proportionately the same as the garlic. And some black pepper. Also, equally proportioned to the garlic and the salt. Good tastes take a little time. When done, mix it up real good.
Mix it up real good.
See? That's nice.
That's nice.
And then make sure you have a bowl of brown sugar at the ready for the next phase. Have to love a Khajiit caravan. While the salmon is marinating, go ahead and preheat your campfire. Whoa! That College of Winterhold sure paid off. Well worth the septums. Turn your destruction magic to low and shut that lid to preheat. After about 2 hours, go get that salmon out of that cold box. You'll notice that the salmon looks a little more oily. It has definitely soaked up that marinade. Now, take that brown sugar and sprinkle it all over the top of that salmon. A little goes a long way, and a lot is delicious. Now take your spoon and rub it in for equal distribution. The preparation stage for our modded salmon steak has now come to a conclusion. And that conclusion is mouth-watering. Back outside to our Dova-style campfire. It's been about 20 minutes now since we began preheating. We will increase the heat to a medium setting, allowing us to watch those flames dance, but not completely come through the grate without anything on it. For you milk drinkers out there, a pair of tongs will come in handy. Place the salmon one by one on top of the grate. leaving space in between for the air to be able to circulate, allowing the flames to be able to reach everywhere. Love that sizzle. When they are ready, shut that lid for 8 minutes. It will not be uncommon for your heat source to reach 500 degrees. We don't want to eat dinner tomorrow. And this is what they look like 4 minutes in. Now at the 8-minute mark, open her back up, or him, and flip those salmon steaks on over. Don't dilly-dally. A slow flip or too hard a flip will break that fish apart. Now that's the color we want to see. I told you don't dilly-dally. Moving on. Now we will remove the skin. After all, we're not animals. Sorry, Maggie. Both spatulas and fingers work. However, we are professionals. If you use your fingers, they may stop working. Slide that spatula between the meat and skin to release it. Take our dry rub and sprinkle it all over for the pieces. Only half of the dry rub. Use the spoon and make sure it gets everywhere. This will eliminate any fishy taste. Then take the rest of the sauce that they were soaking in and pour it on over them. Since the skin was previously there, this part of the fish did not touch the sauce. Let me note that we are now working with haste, as this side of the salmon also gets 8 minutes on the grill, and we want at least 4 minutes of those spent with the lid shut. Now take that moon brown sugar again and sprinkle it all over the salmon. Don't forget to use your spoon and rub it on in. Yes, the heat will make it melt, but GamerPoets believes in equal opportunity for all bites of fish everywhere. After the 8 minutes are up, we will flip the salmon over one more time for 4 minutes. That salmon steak is starting to look like salmon steak. Yum. A little fire goes a long, long way. Now sprinkle the rest of our dry rub on the top side of the fish. And when you are done with that, sprinkle the rest of your brown sugar, but not all of it, on this side of the salmon as well. We've come this far, no need to console command cheat now. A lazy cooker is a crock pot. And well, that, my friends, is another episode. Spoon, rub, and don't forget to flip those other little pieces that broke off. This is sustenance here, people. We are adventuring survivors in Skyrim. Waste not, want not. Shut that lid, and after the 4 minutes have passed, yes, flip them one more time. Making our total on fire time 8 minutes on the skin side, 8 minutes on the other side, 4 minutes and 4 minutes. Which equals what, scholars and wizards? Yes, 20 minutes. It appears that our thinner salmon steaks are ready to come on off. However, the two bigger ones could use 1 or 2 minutes extra each. Reminds me of an orcish lass I once knew in Orsinium. A fine steak indeed. Again, don't forget the tidbits. And milk drinkers, use those tongs again to pick the tiny pieces up from the flames. That'll teach you not to practice your magic. Good job, slacker. Good job. And 2 minutes later, the rest of that salmon has been cooked to perfection. Hercene, his genderless self, could not hunt a better meal. Sous Chef, you have been an invaluable asset. Your work is absolutely priceless, because it's done for free. And kids, turn off those fire runes. As always, safety first. Now that's a good unpaid helper. Good job. Like an Argonian on the Windhelm docks. And there it is. A seared top breaking up throughout. A beautiful dark pink, slightly lighter within the center. Enough glaze so it's still stuck to the salmon when we eat it. And a couple of charred bits for a delicious delicacy. Let's try it out, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, men and mer, fork roll please. Looks good, tastes good, is good. Yum, yum, yum. It's not even going to be any sound to it, it's just the video itself.
Okay.
Who wants the orange?
And that will conclude this edition of Cooking and Gardening Skyrim.